Well, we're here, folks. We have made it to the end of the Cowabunga Summer. We have talked about every Ninja Turtle movie, done multiple episodes of the podcast talking about it. We have talked about Mutant Mayhem. We're ending things on a high note. There's a couple other videos that are going to be coming out after this that are kind of in conjunction to other stuff I've talked about. But this is the last movie we're talking about. Of course, there is the Rise of the TMNT, the movie. That falls under a category that I don't want to talk about because it's a little too recent, so maybe I'll come back and talk about it in a little bit. But we're ending here on a very high note. The Michael Bay produced ones. Yeah, okay. Full disclosure, folks. When I do these reviews, I talk about movies and stuff. I like to do like an off the cusp, just like conversation. I don't take notes because I think it's more fun when it sounds like we're two people just talking about something, having just viewed it and experiencing it. That's fun to me. I watched both of these movies back to back, Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles 2014 and the sequel called Out of the Shadows. I watched both of them back to back 2 days ago prior to this video being recorded. I don't remember what happened. I vaguely remember. Full disclosure, these are the worst two, essentially. I do think the third one of like the 90s is a worse made movie. But I have nothing to really talk about with these two. It's from this era that is just so forgettable, so uninspired, and it just feels like we just want to be a Marvel movie so bad. It's such like a post MCU movie. Do you remember like that era where everyone wanted to try this? We're like coming off the success of like, these Transformers movies are making $1 billion. We have to do that with something else. What else do we have? Paramount. What do we have? Ninja Turtles. That's great. What if the guy that made the Transformers work came back and did it? He's not feuding with Megan Fox anymore. We can make movie again. There you go. That's all that is, really. Man, that era is crazy. I that's kind of like the era where I'm coming into my voice as this type of pundit, as like a critic, where I'm a young man. I think at the time of the first one, I would be coming on to late teens, and I'm like, the Turtles have always been good to me. I love them immensely. I haven't loved every single Transformers movie that comes out, but I can appreciate the fun. I'm still buying all the Transformers toys, like I'm having a good time. And then I watched the first one. I remember I went to this movie opening night in my small town cinema, not a packed house, but I was just like, I got nothing to do. I'm going to walk to the theater. And I came down and I was kind of pumped. And I left with this feeling of like, okay, we did that, didn't we? This, I think, is the most egregious of all the Ninja Turtle films we're talking about. It feels the most boring and lame, and I don't have anything that positive to say about it. It's just uninspired and gross, and you're walking away, you feel like a studio interference changing a lot of things. You feel the product placement not being forced down your throat, but you're like, what if we're spinning around and like a Pizza Hut box just lands in front of you? And you're like, yeah, okay. What if Will Arnett drives up in like a nice car? You're like, okay, I get it. It's not interesting. This one also had like a lot of controversy around it because they want to like change it up. Like, what if they were aliens, man? What if Johnny Knoxville was a turtle? You're like, shut up. Nobody wants that. Like, you have a premise that works. You should stick to it. And what's that premise? What if the ugliest things ever known to man had to become Captain America heroes? Before we get into this movie, let's just talk about the designs for a little bit. I understand modernizing a concept. I think a perfect modern update for these characters has come in subsequent stories. The 2012 era, Rise of the TMNT, Mutant Mayhem, perfect updates of those characters. You look at these like 7-foot bricks and tell me they're 15 years old. They're not. You didn't get actors that were 15. Nobody sounds like they're 15. They dress with like pants, and one has a sweater wrapped around his legs, and they have like necklaces and just shit covering their body. And their faces look stupid. Like it's not even like close to turtly. It tries, but it feels more just like a hodgepodge of just basic green-skinned bleks that we had lying around. They look bad and dumb. And when your lead characters look bad and dumb, nobody's excited about your movie, dude. And it looks stupid, and I hate it. And these are the worst designs they've ever done. They kind of get better in the next movie, but look, they're just so gross, and they're all like spindly and yucky, and I'm pretty sure Michelangelo's a pervert in this. Dude is horny. A common conception that comes across all the time now is a turtle wanting an April snack. This one feels like a predator lurking for his prey, and it's very strange. Speaking of which, this is kind of an April-focused movie, which I loved about the first one from the 90s. That was really cool. What makes this one different is a bunch of things. One, into the 2010s, nothing's interesting anymore. We have everything at our fingertips. Who cares about anything that happens any of the time? It all sucks. None of it matters. It's gross and boring. So I don't care about any news piece that a reporter's trying to get a scoop on. It's like, shut up. Just go to Twitter. Someone will tell you it. Like, it's not that compelling. And then you have the Megan Fox of it all. Now, here's the thing. If there's one thing I want you to come out of this video thinking, because it's the only positive thing I have to say about this original movie, Megan Fox seems like she's really cool. I think she'd be a really fun person to spend a weekend with. Not to, like, see every day or, like, date. Just to be like, yeah, we could, go for coffee, have some drinks in the evening, go party a little bit. Just go to, like, a bookstore or something like that. She seems kind of nerdy, kind of fun. And I feel like she understands what this movie is supposed to be. What she's doing is what the script asks of her, and it's nothing great. But it's also like trying to convey that there is an interest and plausible deniability that she is aware of the turtle as like a brand. She plays this like somebody that knows what a Ninja Turtle is, which, weird, but I get it. She's kind of a nerdy girl. I think she does the best out of anybody in this movie. And that's not saying a lot because you don't have a lot of stuff going on here. Whoopi Goldberg's here for a minute, so do with that as you will. She shows up and has fun, I guess. Will Arnett is the reason this is bad. Like, I see how like, if you are like, a guy who grew up with the 80s cartoon, you look to Vernon and you're like, we need to put that guy in the movie. He was funny. I can only relate to old men. So you get Will Arnett to do a silly job of being a guy. He is just Will Arnetting all over the place, and it's not fun or interesting. And it deflates every scene, and he seems like he's bad at this, and you don't like him. Is it this one where there's the extended shot of him trying to, like, pull a wire out of a wall or something, and you're just like, shut up, Will. You're useless. We don't need you in here. Vernon in here. I get it. Like I do get that. But this is not how you go about it. It's not fun. He sucks. And he's hot for April. And you're like, shut up. We don't want to see you. We're here for the ugly Shrek creatures that look stupid and have big eyes and scary noses who are like hot for Megan Fox. That's lame. We don't like you. And the other part, you're like, oh yeah, there was clearly an idea here that got pushed to the sideline. Is William Fichtner as Eric Sachs. Yeah, Eric Sachs. What is he? He's a businessman with ties to the Foot Clan? Oh, so he's the Shredder. No, he's not the Shredder. That might be what the script originally said. But he's not the Shredder. He's not the Shredder, okay? He's not. It's this guy that's in silhouette who shows up at the end in a big suit. That's the Shredder. Terrible design for the Shredder. I've talked about this before. He's too bulky. He's got too big hand f***s. What's going on there? It's bad. It doesn't look good. Everyone has a bad design. Splinter looks like a freaking creep. This little guy running about. Tony Shalhoub, good idea. Bad execution. Not working well here. And the story's just kind of like lame. Because, oh my goodness, it's like the like resurgence of like, what is it called, like Project Renaissance or something, is what April's dad worked on, and then she goes to Sax like, hey, that thing that happened to my dad, I think it's real, like I think there's some stuff out there, and he's like, first off, no, I'm a greedy businessman. Second off, you're kind of cute though, like, oh yeah, what a movie. What a movie. And April Meets the Turtles, the classic introduction, and it's not that interesting. And the Turtles themselves, there's some inspired casting in there where you're like, okay, yeah, I see how you would get certain people to be in this movie, like Alan Ritchson and Terrence Howard. You know, I get how like they are perfect for that vibe. And then you don't do really anything with them. They're kind of silly, I guess, but are they that silly? And I don't know. The sequences that people know, they get kidnapped, they're pumped up with adrenaline. There's the shot where they're going down like the mountain, so that's cool, I guess. And then like the big fight with Shredder at the end. It's on a rooftop, and there's like a laser. I think I don't know. Was there a laser? Am I thinking of the next one? It's so unmemorable. Like, you're just like, yeah, I mean, this is hitting the beats. That's what we want from these things, right? Like, they have all this stuff. They make jokes. They understand what they are. They eat pizza, you radical rat. I don't like this movie. It's not the worst movie we've talked about on this channel, and it's not going to be the worst we ever talk about. But as far as like the Ninja Turtle movies go, I think it's the most egregious. It misses the mark more than any of them. And aside from Megan Fox, who I think is a genuine delight, not great, but she seems like she's having fun. This is a bad movie with no redeemable qualities. So I hate it. I hate this one. And then flash forward a couple of years, they kind of were like, this did fine. We can greenlight a sequel. There was supposed to be like a trilogy. Of course there was. Thank God that never happened because, no way it ended good. So it's Out of the Shadows time now. We've brightened the colors up. Everything looks a little bit better. Our budget's a little higher. What if we did exactly what the 90s did and made it the cartoon? The first movie of this batch is exactly the same trajectory of the 90s ones. What if we did the Frank Miller parody? Blah, blah, blah. Great. Better in the 90s than here. Now it's like, what if we did the cartoon? Well, that's an idea, and I support it. And this is a fun movie. Like, I'm not going to tell you it's good, but I'd be hesitant to say it's bad. It's fun. It's colorful. The jokes pretty much land. This movie, for some godforsaken reason, holds a record to me personally because I saw this movie, Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles Out of the Shadows, 3 times opening night at the same cinema. I went 3 times in a row with different groups of people. Why? Because I'm insane. I went by myself, I went with friends, and then I went with family. Why? In the same day? Because I'm an idiot. I've seen this more than probably the other one, that's for sure. But this is kind of good. It's kind of fun. It's kind of cool. What if like Krang just showed up and he's like, Shredder, you've been working for me this whole time. I'm going to open a portal and make Earth Dimension X or something like that. That's what's happening. That's what's happening. At the same time, we see the Turtles go to a basketball game and they're having fun. Michelangelo drops a slice of pizza onto the basketball court and yay. On that too, because Vernon's back, of course, he's taking credit for stopping the Foot Clan, which are just like guys that like, I don't know, they're like terrorists or something. He's taking credit so people think, he's a cool guy, we love him, yeah. He's so cool, but he's like, the Turtles know I didn't do it because they did it. And this story is like, out of the shadows, they want to come to the spotlight and be seen by the world. Yeah, they do, yay. And they work with the police in this movie, and I'm like, that does not sit right with me. I have nothing against the police being like a force used in this movie to do something. Not that I'm a big fan of the police, because I'm not a big fan of the police. I am a big fan, though, of the Police, the band. Was that a good joke? Doesn't matter. Moving on. Fine, you use the police fine here, but the Turtles actively working with them, and Laura Linney, it's like, shut up. I don't buy that. I don't like that aesthetic or that idea. But they want to be seen by people. They want to go out into the world and be seen as heroes and all that stuff. And the Shredder has like an anti-mutagen or something, right? Like that's the plan. They have a mutagen and like an anti-mutagen. Because we make Bebop and Rocksteady, who fucking rock steady in this movie. They're so good. You have 2 actors perfectly cast. The one guy who's Rocksteady is from WWE, if I'm not mistaken. The other guy that's Bebop, I don't know. They look the part when they're human. They are hamming it up to the extreme. And then when they turn into the Warthog and the Rhino, we head down a new trajectory and everything works better. These two get everything right. They are silly, they are loud, they fart a bit, but who cares? They're jovial and dumb, and you buy that they'd work for the Shredder and the Foot Clan and shit. Like, that works well. And it's so fun. Like, the extended sequence where they're fighting the turtles in, like, a tank going down a river is the best thing ever put to movies. Like, that is so cool. Like, we're seeing it happen. A stupid cartoon idea on the big screen in live action. That's awesome. They nailed it. Those two are perfect. No complaints of those two in any capacity. That was right. That's amazing. And then you have a couple of missteps in terms of characters, because we're introducing you to two classic Ninja Turtle characters. The first one, Baxter Stockman, portrayed by Tyler Perry. What? I cannot believe... He doesn't need to do this, by the way. He's a rich guy. He's making money every single day. Why is he doing this? What was the persuasion that came in to make Tyler Perry be a goofball? And he's a goofball. I love the opening bit where April's like, I have to seduce Baxter Stockman. I know. I'll just be like a woman who's an object. And this guy's never spoken to a girl in his life. If I bring up the words Comic-Con, he's going to release in his pants. And he probably did. Insane. He gets kidnapped by the Shredder to make the mutagen. He makes Bebop and Rocksteady. And then he's just kind of there for a bit. It's weird that it's Tyler Perry. And it's weird that he went for, like, what would you call that look he went for? Classic nerd? It's very bizarre. I don't hate it. It's not good. It's not the worst performance in this movie. Because that, my dear friends, that falls to Stephen Amell, who is in the news recently. We don't need to talk about why he's wrong or why people on the shows he's worked on have nothing good to say about him. But hey, this was his big step up to the movies, and he failed miserably because he did a terrible job portraying Casey Jones. The worst iteration of the character I've ever seen. Looks nothing like him. Wouldn't even put on a wig. Barely wears the mask. Doesn't even have rollerblades or skates or anything. Tapes some, like, wheels from a chair to, like, his shoe. He sucks. He doesn't deserve to win. He deserves to lose. Like the beginning when he's, like, hauling the prisoners away and they're attacked by the Foot Clan. Is that what happened? Were they hauling the Shredder away? Because he got... I don't remember. That's when the Turtles had, like, the big van. And he just sucks. He just sucks. And he's like, I'm going to be a detective someday. You probably could if you weren't such a bitch. Like, you're ruining every scene you're in. You're not doing anything. You have no chemistry with Megan Fox. Though she's trying. She's trying to help you in so many sequences. But she has more chemistry with Will Arnett, who is inexcusably here in almost every other scene. It's very annoying. Can you tell I'm barely talking about the Turtles because they are second stringers in this crap? Like, when they show up, there's some funny stuff. They jump out of a plane. That's a funny moment where Donatello just, like, jumps out and Michael's like, he just jumped. Like, that's funny. That's good stuff. They want to be human. Can they be human? No. They're going to team up with the police to fight Krang, who looks good. Like, you can't mess up Krang. It's just a brain with tentacles. Like, that's fine. Everything else, it's okay. Like, the colors are better. The designs are sleeker. The jokes are funnier. The acting is the same, but it's going for a larger extreme, which I appreciate and think works to the benefit of the film. It's not great, but I'm smiling through it, and I'm like, that's like the cartoon. It's the Technodrome. It's Krang. The Shredder gets put on ice, which I love. The last one we talked about too, Turtles Forever, the Shredder got put on ice. It's so funny that this guy in the first movie was supposed to be William Fichtner. They're like, we can't have a white guy be the Shredder, so we're going to hire a man to be in silhouette. And when he shows up, he's not going to be in like the navy finger suit. He's going to be wearing black leather and just punch a couple guys until he upsets Krang, gets frozen, and shoved into an Easter egg. Yeah, you know, good movie. What a time to be alive. Johnny Knoxville's not in this one either. It's like the actual motion capture guy. And they were treated badly on set. So, you know, bad time to be a Turtle fan. This era was bad. Like even doing a cartoon, nobody wants to see that. You know, like, your audience isn't there for it. So don't try it. What a movie. What else happened in it? They both end with like a big fight in the sky, and I guess like the cops of New York support them at the end. They're like, "Whoa, yeah, we did it," which is the most Michael Bay thing imaginable. Where it's like, "Yeah, the police are good. We rock. We rule." Okay, okay. If that's what you want to believe, you believe it. So those are the two. Oh, they're not good. They're just fine, but they exist. And God, I love being a turtle. I'm glad they exist because if everything was perfect, it's good to attempt these again. If everything was perfect, that'd be kind of shitty. I say that as a guy who likes most of them. Yeah, I don't know. Until next time, thank you all for watching this video. Be sure to like and subscribe to the channel. As always, you can check me out on Instagram, TikTok, and Twitter. And as always, I will catch you in the next one. Have fun. Stay safe. Good luck.